G'day and welcome to my garage. I'm Peter. I have some viewer mail. First viewer mail. It's all the way from America, from Active Atom. It's Lance and Patrick in Yucca Valley. What they've sent me is some channel stickers. Active Atom Precision Machining. A couple of those. And then a couple of the little boys. Active Atom. So, where am I going to put them? Probably on the doors of my cupboard here. These are the first stickers I've received for the sticker board, and I don't really have a sticker board. And I think I'm going to use the doors of the cupboard that holds up the milling machine and the mini lathe. So let's put one up anyhow. Is there instructions? 3 stickers per set. 3 stickers per set? I don't know about that. Ah yes, that's the 3rd sticker. 1, 2, and the little one off to the side. So there we go. There's the little fellows. Split in the middle. There we go, the Active Atom stickers. So sit back and relax and enjoy me watching machining the headstock of the mini lathe. Drastic measures, but then it was terribly wrong to start with. So hopefully I'm correcting it in the right manner. We'll see how that goes. Alright, let's get into it. Well, there's the basic problem of why this head won't stay in alignment, or it's very difficult to get into alignment. I did try a bracket with a couple of adjustment screws and a centre peg down here to see if I can swivel that head around. It worked a little bit, it did and it didn't work. But I never noticed this. It's not sitting on the way there properly. Well, it's not sitting on it, that's why it's moving around. But I was working on the tail stock for some reason, can't remember what, adjustment screw or something, and I noticed that the tail stock sat on the V and there was clearance in there, and then sitting out on the far edge. So it was slightly rocked up like that. So I thought I'll see if I can do the same thing with this thing. What I need to do is first get some baseline data. So let's have a look at the 0.01 metre I have at the top here. Can we zoom you in? There's an awful lot of glare. So first we'll see if this thing sits parallel flat with the bed. Now remember, this is 0.01 of a millimetre. That's a bit under half a thou. So we'll start from this edge. We're on 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. It's on 5. 15. Hang on. Are we making contact? No, we're not. The travel range of this needle is very small. Okay, let's try that again. We're on 5 and we're on 5. Just a hair over 5, and that's 0.01 of a mil. Half of that. Let's move this fellow to the side. That's the important one. Let's see if we can get you to see something. Let's first bring this in and we'll put it on 40. Oh, hang on. Okay, I've got it resting. I've pulled it this way squarely, so put this on 40. I've started pulling the headstock apart. I've got the high low range gear out. I tried to remove the gear selector on the back here. That wasn't working out. There's a set screw here. Underneath the set screw is a spring and a ball to provide detent. If you can see that, can you see? Inside it's hard to see, I know. Inside there's a lever that's attached in some form, I would say with a set screw. Now there was a set screw on the top. I've taken that out, and there's another one underneath it, and I've got both imperial and metric Allen keys, and everything on this thing's is metric, unless I've changed it. But no, everything's still metric. The detent one was metric. The cap, I won't say cap. The internal one was metric. The one underneath it, the head's damaged, I say, because it's not metric.
and it's not imperial. So there's no other types of Allen keys that I know of. I don't think I've ever come across, well, I've never come across Whitworth or BSF. So anyhow, that's not coming out. So I was able to get the high-low range gear out and the fork. So that will have to do. If I ever need to get it out, then I'll worry about it then. Probably have to drill it out or something. Maybe easy out of. I don't know, but I'm not going to attempt to do anything because I can work without it. This is the surface that's going to be machined. I've put it on. I've put the dimensions into my CAD program, and I need to remove 0.45 of a millimetre because I need. Yes, the chuck is in the way of clamping this assembly on the Gingery Mill. Alright, so let's lock these main shaft. I did loosen these earlier. I've done this before and I can't remember how that comes off. There's a little T in there. That fellow comes off. Ooh. Looks like this just pushes through, does it? Simple. All right, leave it with me. I'll see how that comes out. I looked once for the spindle on a mini lathe. A little machine shop was the only place I could find it, and so that was. Well, it wasn't expensive for the Americans, but to mail it here is about $40 or $50 or something, on top of the 150. Anyhow, not to worry. I was just thinking, I've had this thought before. My spindle fitted to the Gingery Gingery Mill, a lathe spindle fitted to the Gingery Mill. Be interesting. Anyhow. Leave it with me. I'll pull these caps off, see how this thing comes apart. This bearing just comes off fairly simply. That's the grease shield is damaged. I might have done that last time I put it back in. I don't know. It's bent a little bit. Alright, I just got the whole thing and dropped it on the wooden bench. The bearing came out of the housing. Then there is a and there's another spacer here. Spacer. Well, that's it for now. That's the housing. I don't know what that part is. Oh, that's part of the shaft. All right. Well, it's not going to come out this way. So off with the chuck. And then the front cover. All right, I've removed the screws that held that in place because that holds the bearing in place. It stops it from coming through. So inside, can you see that? Probably not, but inside is the main gear up the top there. So this whole thing has to come out this way. I've already been playing with it. I've put a nut back on the main spindle. I've got a brass lump of brass. I shouldn't have to, but hey, just always take precautions where you can. That's popped it out. Now the gear should be keyed. That's how it drives it. There's the key. Interesting little interesting main shaft. Wonder how that would go in the mini lathe, in the milling machine. Anyhow, I'm not here to think about that. I'm here to get this out. It's not going to come out that way. It's not going to come out that way. So it has to come out this way. Through the top, remembering the can't remember what's the front and what's the back. That's alright, this was to the back. That's the back of the machine. It's over there to the left. Right. Low gear, low gear. These haven't been in very long. Being metal, they're a lot noisier than the plastic ones. But they look like they're settling in quite nicely. Very nice. Okay, that's the housing stripped. Pretty much all what I want to strip it off. So it will sit that way on the mill. That means it'll be clamped across there. Nothing's in my way, that's not a problem. There is a screw on the bottom here. I'll take that out, that's the earth screw. Well, I might leave it in, actually I might leave it in, use it as a pivot point against the left edge of the mill. Okay, this is relatively clean, I hope. Just clean the mill bed down. And so I'll leave that screw in so I can then pivot around that screw. Okay. The lathe headstock is mounted. I'm just no use checking up and down because that's how I'm going to machine it. I've got it on a 30 thou, 27 thou packing piece under the headstock here. Haven't checked the clearances yet, but what I'm doing at the moment is making sure so it's touching there, you can hear it. Listen for it. Now, I'm looking at the cutter at the 3 and 9 o'clock position. Let the motorbike pass so I can hear something. I can just hear it. And I can hear it there. There wouldn't be a 1,000. I can now lock that down. I'll install, put a couple of clamps on. 10mm if I can find my 10mm. I did find my 6-inch rule. It was under the milling machine. Where's my 10mm? There it is. So I'll put one here. And one on diagonally opposite. Okay, that gives me three reference points now. We've got the two clamps, and then there's I left the screw in the head, so that's up against the edge of the bed. And I can now check. Yeah, I can now check. How that's going. But you're in the way. I'll, if I remember, I will report back. Well, I'm on the second pass across the base of the lathe headstock. I've taken 10th thou off. I'm taking another 10th thou off using the Gingery fly cutter. It's only turning slow. It's in low range, 2nd gear. Oh, I've got to engage it. Well, I'll put my shield up and you can come back later. I'm just breaking through on the far end. Just going back just to give it a lick over on the same setting. Okay, so we started off 273 thick across the top here. We are, and it is okay. We've taken 30 thou off, not 20. So 73 down to 45. Yeah, 45. 38 thou. Wonder why that's 38 thou. Maybe the 44, 45. Two inch. This is 5 inch. That's 5.273. It's 245. Okay, a little bit too much, but that's okay. We shall live with that. That is for certain. Okay, I'll take it out, clean it up, and let's see how it performs on the bed. Too bad I can't get the bed over here. Alright, leave it with me.